isolated tornadoes in the Midwest, winds up to 60 miles per hour, and maybe even large hail in the high plains. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is July 16, 2025, and I'm finally gonna get severe weather again, but the last time Chicago had weather was kind of a bust, so we'll see. Today we have a 5% chance to see a small tornado in places like Rockford, Madison, and Milwaukee. In this same region, we have a 15% chance to see winds up to 60 miles per hour, but also in the high plains as well. And then for small hail, we have a 5% chance in the Midwest, but a 15% chance in the high plains. The Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk for flash flooding in Wisconsin and the Central Plains, but also again for the Northeast. Some of these places are going to see an additional 1 to 2 inches in the next 24 hours, and maybe even more in isolated places. Starting with the Midwest, it looks like things are going to start as early as 16Z or 11 a.m. Central Time. But then throughout the afternoon, things are going to start ramping up. For the Northeast, it looks like things are going to start around 17Z or 1 p.m. Eastern Time. For the High Plains, we're looking at 19Z or 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And then for the Central Plains, it looks like things will not start until really late, around 11 p.m. or to midnight Central Time. Looking at satellite imagery, we have a really cool feature. We have an MCS or a mesoscale convective vortex in Iowa right now, which basically means a localized circulation within a storm system. Taking a closer look, we can see that the winds are flowing cyclonically, which is counterclockwise. And basically in the low levels, when you have winds getting closer together and going counterclockwise, we have the ground, so the wind can't go down, so it's got to go up, which is going to promote more surface lifts in those areas. Looking at the skies, we have somewhat clear skies in the Great Lakes that are clearing up, and that's going to provide more diurnal heating, more surface heating, which means more instability for the storms. Looking at the surface, we can see there's a low pressure in the Midwest aligning with the MCV that we saw. And paired with that are cold fronts, and that's going to provide a lot more surface lifts. In the Northeast, we can see that there's a stationary front still over there, and that's what's been causing all the rain the past few days and today. And then for the High Plains and Central Plains, we're going to have a cold front that's going to pass through, but it's going to be very slow and almost stall. Taking a look at 500 millibars or midway through the troposphere, if we look at the Midwest, we can see that we have a negatively tilted trough. And basically what that means is when we look at the axis of the base of the trough, you can see that it's kind of leaning more to the east. And it being negative is significant because it can tell us a couple things. First off, there's a wave of colder air aloft that's ahead of the fronts. And what that's going to do is when the air parcel rises in those areas, the air parcel wants a bigger temperature gradient when it rises and does not want the environmental temperature greater than what it is. So with colder air, it's going to rise up even faster. And number two, negative tilted troughs always come with good shear. And we can look at the base of the trough and we do see that we have good shear, which is going to tilt those updrafts, prolong those storms that do develop. And number three, because of the nature of the curvature, we can see that the wind barbs are spreading out a little bit and turning a little bit more counterclockwise or cyclonic flow. So we have both winds increasing and winds spreading out a little bit. And what Earth wants to do is it wants to fill in that gap. So it's going to promote upward motion and enhancing those updrafts. So now we have cyclonic flow both from the MCV, but also from this curvature, and that's going to bring in a lot more vorticity or basically spin for the updrafts, which is going to be really helpful for the thunderstorm development and tornadic activity. And that's why we may have